Hi, I'm Christina, and this is New Ways Podcast. Today, my guest is a dear friend of mine, Sammy Corning. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. Seriously, never done something like this. So
It's so much fun.
Dude, as you've been
So much
saying,
fun.
this whole room is giving a vibe.
It is a vibe.
Pink girly pop.
Let's
energy.
fucking go. I'm so excited too that you reached out because you actually wanted to talk about a topic that's really near and dear to your soul. And I feel like I couldn't ask for a better person to talk about it because you're just very insightful. And it seems like you've made a lot of meaningful change over this event that happened to you. So today we're kind of going to be discussing grief. And I'll toss it over to you. Why did you want to talk about this?
Honestly, I felt like I wanted to bring this topic up because there really aren't a lot of people that lose, or from who I know, put it this way, like have lost a parent in their 20s. And I found the experience pretty isolating. And if I could bring any like awareness to what grief is and like what happens when you lose a parent and kind of the stages I went through and how I remember when I had first lost my dad and I was like, my mom passed me this book and it was like the benefits of death. And I was like,
Your mom gave you this book?
Yes.
The Benefits of Death.
Yeah, the benefits of losing a loved one. And I looked at this shit and I was like, what the like, you gotta be, there is no benefit to losing your parent. I mean, to be fair, my dad and I didn't even have like the most amazing relationship, which is something I found hella interesting too, because it was like, I didn't really rely on him as a parent figure. He was more like a friend, but either way, losing him was instrumental to forming my identity and like really solidifying where I am today. So yeah, just be making anyone who are in their 20s, 30s, whatever, but a younger person who's lost their parent, knowing that they're not alone, kind of why I wanted to bring this topic up.
No, I love that. And I've also read or heard somewhere too that like even if you're not close with your parent or like a friend or a family member, you're still losing the idea of them. You're losing the chance of like maybe having a relationship with them. Like it's still a part of you that is lost. And I think about this often too because I do feel blessed where I haven't lost anybody that close to me. Like I still thankfully have all my beautiful sisters. Both of my parents are still alive. We don't have the best relationship necessarily, and I do live in a different state, so I'm always curious. It's inevitable. Eventually, everybody's going to go when that day does come. I'm like, how is it going to affect me? Because you do have those family members, especially at a young age, that you see every day, regardless if you like them or not, or you have a good relationship. You do see them pretty frequently. But as an adult, too, I'm over here like, I don't see my family members that often, but I know it's still going to hurt like fucking hell. So I'm not waiting for that day to come, but to say the least, but I'm actually intrigued to see how I will cope with it. And maybe some words of advice from you will help me through it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, one thing is like nothing can really prepare you and everyone's experience is different. Like that's something that I remember. I had friends who had lost a grandparent and like, I'm really obviously sorry for that loss. Or even I remember a friend like comparing it to the loss of a dog. And I was just like, all right, bro, this is definitely not the same. It was honestly only Claire, who had also lost her dad when she was 29, who was, I felt like, able to kind of relate, but it was a totally different loss for her. Her dad died by suicide, which that's grief in like two different ways, because you're like feeling like, why'd they go? But yeah, to your point, it's, if I can bring some of the things that was shocking to me in losing my dad. Dude, the way grief affects your body is nuts.
Okay, so break it down for me. Talk to me about it.
So I'll just like briefly summarize. My dad got sick in 2020 and they gave him about a 5-year life expectancy. He went through chemo. He got better. He got it again. He got better. And then it was December 2023 where he got re-diagnosed. And my dad was a fighter and he did not want to die. And he was like a 12-year-old trapped in a fucking 70-year-old man's body. Like he was terrified to die. To this day, bro, obviously to this day, but to his last day, he never wanted to tell me he was going to die, which was something that I had a hard time processing. because it's like, if you can't be real about it, how am I to be
Mm-hmm.
real with it? But anyways, back to the effects on the body. It was, I remember I went home for Christmas, and that's when my mom told me he's sick again and it's really not looking good. My dad wanted to do treatments. 2 months into treatments, the doctors are like, this shit's not gonna work. They said it better than that.
Yeah.
And my dad was fucking destroyed. I remember he sent me this text and he was like, kiddo, I got some bad news. And like,
Shut up.
I literally still, yeah. And he was like, you made it in the big town that I'd never been able to make it. So I'm proud of you. But like, I'm not ready to tell you yet. That was as far as I got in terms of him admitting he was gonna die. But I remember going home in the middle of February, and what you were alluding to before, not that battle between, you don't see them as much living in a different state, in a different town. And I was so conflicted, bro, because I was still working my corporate job and I was just starting a new relationship. What a time. Girl, Justin asked me to be his girlfriend January 27th, literally in the beginning of January. I found out my dad's dying. So I'm like torn. What do I do? You know what I mean? Like,
so you're in LA.
LA.
And then where's your dad?
San Francisco.
Okay.
So
you have your life here, and then it's your father, who you love dearly, but you aren't necessarily the closest with necessarily, is sick in another area of the state.
Yes, it's that. And there was also the way I grew up, like my house isn't really, it was just a challenging kind of childhood, and going back there is hard for me. And
I am same with me. I can relate. Yeah. So it's like, I want to be there to support you, but at the same time, like, is me being there to support you going to like physically and mentally kind of kill me? Like, it's going to be a struggle.
That part.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, I don't even have a place to stay when I go home. I have to sleep in the living room, and it's just, there's cancer stuff all over the place, which is just overwhelming.
Also, too, like, seeing somebody progressively getting sicker and sicker is like a whole nother type of pain in its own.
Dude, and that was what I said about the body, all throwing it all the way back. So I remember coming home in the middle of February once, like, they basically said, you're toast. Like,
yeah,
it's just, you're going to have to start going through the process towards death. And at this time, I went home and my mom wasn't going to be there. So I kind of had to be the babysitter for the weekend for him. And that's when I got hit. And it was like the worst. Have you ever felt fatigue before?
Oh, definitely.
Bro, fatigue is like the worst. What do you do to get?
It depends. Like, for me personally, it depends. I'm that person where it's just, I could be in a burning fucking building and say, this is okay. So like, I have the power within me to push through. I've had to. Relating to kind of weird childhoods is like, I never really felt safe in my home growing up, even though it was a safe place. It's just, it was very chaotic. I'm so used to fighting where like, I know I can push through. It was my normal. But now that you're like, it's so weird because when you actually get into like a healthy environment, when you get back into the toxic one and it does drain you, you're like, I don't know how to react because I know this isn't good for me. I know what I should be doing for myself, which is like stepping back, taking a break and setting boundaries. But how can I do that here when I'm back to this place where I'm so used to not having boundaries, you know?
100%.
But fatigue wise, it depends on the scenario. I'm like, I know in my heart and my soul that this is something I should be doing, I'll push through. But I'll be honest with you, at this stage in my life, I have a very low tolerance for bullshit as well. So it's hard for me to say in that situation what I would do. You know what I mean?
For sure. And this is just like a different level of fatigue than I ever felt before. I mean, I had gone off of like Vyvanse at a time, and that was like for sure fatigue, but this was like something that I couldn't shake. So it started in the middle of February, and then it was to the point where I was drinking like 4 Celsius a day, and I just could not feel like I was going to wake up. And it didn't leave me until after he passed away, which was May 8th. So like basically the end of May. So it was like February to the end of May where I literally just felt like I was sleeping. And in hindsight, when I look back, I'm just like, damn, that's grief, bro.
You're mourning. Yeah, for sure.
So that's something I had no idea. Like, I remember going to the doctor to get my blood tested. I was like, it must be Lyme's disease. Like, this is fucked. But no, that wasn't the case. I think anticipatory grief, which is leading up to him dying, and watching him, like you mentioned, every time I came home, which was about every 2 weeks, it's like 1 week, February, he's just in bed. Next time, he's completely in bed. The
Mm-hmm.
next time, he's in a walker. The next time, he's in a wheelchair. And then the next time I remember it was Tuesday, right? And I was coming home on Thursday and I'd FaceTime my dad and I was like, looking forward to seeing you, like, yada, yada. And he's like, kiddo, and this is my mom mentioned, like, okay, he's in the hospital bed now. Like, just want to let you know. I mean, bless her heart. Like, having like, he passed away in our house. So it's like a lot to take care of someone towards the end of life.
Definitely, yeah.
And he was so refusal of any nurses, which, bro, bless the hospice nurses, like, job as well.
Yeah.
They're so inspiring to me, and they really inspired me a little bit into getting into the career I am today. But dude, yeah, we FaceTime, and then my mom calls me on Wednesday. She's like, you need to get on a flight now. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, because I just talked to him on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And Thursday, and she's like, Wednesday, she's like, get on this flight. So I get on the flight, and she doesn't tell me what's going to go on. You know this, I'm sure, what it looks like when someone's in an active dying state.
Oh, it's not a pleasant thing to watch. Definitely not.
Bro, it is terrifying. And I remember walking inside and seeing him in the living room, the same living room I was a baby in.
Yeah.
So that's traumatizing as fuck. Like, and he's just in this like zombie mode. And I freaked out, had like a panic attack. He stayed alive for the next 7 days. And that's when I got really interested in learning about like the active dying process. And I'm curious, like, what you've seen, like, in your thoughts on like what happens in that stage, because you know how people sometimes have the surge. They see,
we've had people come back where it's like the family thinks that they're getting better because all of a sudden they have this energy to them, and it's like that's kind of how we know they're about to go to those, because it's like it's the light before the dark in a way. Like, they get back this energy. We've had people saying that they're talking to their loved ones. They like start to see other people in the room. We've had people where it's like, it's funny enough, a lot of times too, finally when the last family member comes to see them is when they'll be like, I'm done, and they'll die. Like, you can tell they were holding up for one person, and it's like the second a family member that they've been waiting for comes in the room, they're gone within minutes. It's also like, if somebody tells me, hey, I'm going, I firmly believe them. Like, I actually just got chills saying that, because I can't tell you how many times somebody looks at me and they actually look okay, and they're like, I'm going. And I'm like, fuck. Because they know, to be completely honest with you. So it's a very interesting experience to witness. Also, too, I've seen some people on hospice. It's not really my specialty, but like when I'm in the hospital though, and people are actively dying and they have to be there, like the screams of family members, I'm sorry, that's something I don't think I will ever get out of my head. So, and everybody grieves differently. Everybody reacts differently. Like, I've seen some people who don't even look phased. I see some people who are like wailing, but that's something I don't think I'll ever like forget, is like the cry when it actually happens.
Dude, yeah. I mean, it's something different if you haven't seen it before too, which was my case.
Mm-hmm.
And then for it to be my dad, and then for it to be like, yesterday we were on the phone. I mean, yeah, he didn't look good, but now I was so mad too, because like I said, we never had that conversation, I'm going to die, because he was like, it's going to be fine. I remember one time in bed and he was like, it's not going to be fine, but he didn't ever admit to it. And something in my life I want to definitely provide, if I like hopefully have kids one day, it's like I want to own up to, if that's happening, to provide that type of closure.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only instance, and to your point, that surge is insane for anyone who, God forbid, they go through this, but like that was just like in bed like a zombie, and then he tries to get out of bed.
Yeah.
This is the day before he actually died, and we're like, what are you doing? Like, you can't get out, you're weak. He had esophagus cancer and stomach cancer, so basically died from starvation. I'm so sorry if there's too many details.
No,
too.
but no, my face made that face because I know people with esophageal cancer and I've seen them get like things removed from their throat, their face, and I just relived an image because like it's not a pleasant looking thing, like facial surgery or like removing. It's not. I've taken care of people like that.
That's
So I'm like, it's definitely like a gruesome sight to see. That's why I made that face. So I'm like,
Dude, being a nurse, like as dope of a job it is in terms of the flexibility and obviously the pay and like the meaning behind it, it's a tough job.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of fucked up shit to say the least. Now looking back at it, I do feel like I'm probably the perfect person to be doing it because like of my upbringing and also like how I've progressed in life. But it's not for the faint of heart, but it makes me feel deeper to like the human experience and the people that I've helped. And that's something that like it's always going to be a part of my life. My entire life is just around helping people, regardless if it's with this podcast, this coaching, the nursing. I'm like, it's who I am. So it's worked out well for me, supposedly.
100%.
But
I hate to say it's like a woman thing to want to do a helping career, but I feel like it is in our nature. Like you give like a maternal vibe and we want to.
All honesty, sometimes I wish I didn't like this shit. Sometimes I'm like, it would be easy to just be fucking selfish. It would be easy for me to just chase a fucking dollar. It would be so easy. I'm genuinely obsessed. Like I can tell it's definitely a passion, but yeah. Oh, I'm like,
you can tell right now.
I'm like, I wish I didn't fucking like helping people. Like that shit's exhausting. Holding people through these experiences, it's no fucking joke.
No, big
Hence
facts.
your body fatigue. It's not a joke. You have to really learn how to protect yourself and your energy as well as find good coping mechanisms to be able to support people as well as support yourself. So I'm curious too, now that your dad's pretty much actively dying, once it happened, how did you feel? And then what was the progression forward for you?
So, yeah, I mean, those 5 days were just kind of a blur, I remember. And it was just so confusing because I had never gone through that before. I guess when he went through that surge and he gave me this like final, like he opened his eyes and that was the first, like the last time I saw him. And it felt like the goodbye. And then like you mentioned, he was gone the next morning. I did the bad idea of, this might be way too much context here, but I decided to watch them wrap him up in the living room and watch them. I'm smiling because that's how I take care of my feelings. I'm like, watch his ass get gurney downstairs. Bad idea. Don't do that. Anybody.
I've bagged so many bodies in my life.
You have?
Not to joke. Like I'm laughing about it because no, for sure, dude. Definitely. I was working on Christmas one time, which is my birthday, and I was like,
God.
We were laughing, not laughing because it's not a joke, you guys, but you have to find comedy in the dark times. You genuinely do. It was Christmas. I was there on my birthday with one of my other fellow friend nurses, and we were bagging a body. And I'm like, oh, what a life.
Girl, you had a bag of body on
all
Christmas
the time
on your birthday.
Yeah.
That's something different.
But I would hope, I mean, it's an experience to see for sure, especially them putting in the plastic bag, zipping it up and bringing it out the house. Okay, so you watched this.
I watched that. And I think I had mentioned that I thought the tired spell kind of ended by the end of May. But now that I'm really thinking back, I swear to God, bro, it's like the minute that I watched that, I feel like it let go a little bit. Like I felt
when you saw them bringing him out.
Yeah, like
it's kind of like it's over that part. You know what I mean? Like the whole worrying part of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Anticipatory grief is something I never knew about, and honestly, it was one of the harder parts. And grief is something that never goes away. You know, like I think that's something I didn't expect. Like you grieve the anniversaries. You know, like something that's it's like my birthday was last week, and it's like, damn, my birthday kind of sucked. I mean, it's like a sad thing along with a happy thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, wow, it's one more year that he won't know what I'm up to, can't see the happy birthday. But the process was crazy. I mean, so I went into, Oracle gave me 3 weeks off, and that was, thank God. I went back to LA, and I was just like, I got so into reading. And that was my biggest coping mechanism. And I got so into learning about dying.
Okay. So what did you read? What did you learn? How did it help?
One of my favorite books was by a hospice nurse, and it's called The In-Between. And I learned about all the beautiful things that happen towards the end of life. And it gave me a lot of peace of mind that he probably is either back on this earth, because I for damn sure my dad did not learn all the lessons he needed to learn, and that it wasn't as scary as it is, as he made it seem to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you agree. Like, are you scared of dying?
I'm not. Let alone I haven't really looked at it in the face. I think for me, the more scary thing about dying would be is like I'm worried about like being immobile. I'm worried about me not being able to like actually enjoy my life. But when it comes to actually not being on this earth anymore, like I believe in either reincarnation or something bigger than me out there. Like I believe in different universes and different realms. So I'm like, I don't believe that like just because my body's dead, my spirit is dead. And at the same time, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe death is just an ending. Okay, then it's just like, it's done. I'm done. What else? What do I have to be scared of? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that there's like pain on the other side of death or suffering. So that's just, that's why I think death doesn't scare me, is because I'm like, okay, if it's it, it's it. And if there's another side or another journey, let's fucking go.
100%.
Yeah.
I think your soul has definitely been here a number of times, because coming to that conclusion isn't an easy thing for like, not saying the common person, but a lot of people in our culture and society in general, like death is so not talked about.
It's not.
It's so taboo, and it's a terrifying thing to.
Why do you think it's so taboo though? And terrifying?
Because it's unknown.
Yes.
Is a big thing, and it's arbitrary. And you know, that's a great question. If I think about why it's scary, it's because a lot of the time people aren't doing stuff that make them feel fulfilled on a day-to-day.
I was gonna say the reason why I don't think I'm really scared of death is because every day I try to wake up and say like my motto recently is more life. Like every single day I want to wake up and find the joys in life and know that I'm living it to the fullest. And not to be this person, I'm no stranger to depression either. And when you do try new things and go into the unknown, it's fucking hard. I'm not saying it's easy. So sometimes I'm like, I already do all the hard things. Death kind of seems peaceful to me.
Girl, no,
like,
no more bills.
I'm like, I'm not here anymore. I don't have to like necessarily, you know what I mean? I'm not always trying to grow then, which I do love it. There's so much beauty in it. But at the same time, it is fucking exhausting. It's this crazy world when we call life. But I'm curious in your perspective then too. Are you scared of dying?
Oh no. Like, I make this joke with Justin. I'm like, I can't wait. No,
but that's what I mean though. Why are you not scared?
Well,
I can't. Oh my god!
I can't wait. It's a little morbid, and I know it losing, and that's when it all comes back to a couple different books. One, I read this book, and it was about a neurosurgeon who went into a coma, and the coma was essentially like an active dying state, and he went through this white tunnel. And this is a neurosurgeon, so he's tried and true, like right-brained. He's very, I think that's the logical brain. Whatever the logical side of the brain is, like he did not believe in the spiritual realm. And this is written from his point of view. And he remembered all of this. He wrote it down when he left the coma. And he had meningitis, which, as you know, is like very like,
it's harsh. Viral meningitis, like it will kick your body the fuck out.
It'll kill you, essentially. So all the doctors said you're going to die. And he's in this, so he goes through this tunnel, and a deity comes to him, and it turns out the deity is his long lost sister, his sister that had passed away. And then he goes through these life reviews, and towards the end, to wrap up the story, he looks at different times in his life, and then it feels like 6 years for him when he's telling the story, but it really was 7 days. And then he starts hearing these voices, and it was all of his family around him in his hospital bed saying goodbye. And then he heard his son being like, "Dad, I love you. Don't go." And he told the deity, his sister, in this like heavenly tunnel, he told us like, he's like, "It's not time." And he just whoop and came back to life.
Okay.
Bro, and that story was just like, that made me realize, okay, dying is going to be kind of cool.
I was gonna say maybe also I'm not gonna get into that, but I've had similar experiences on like hallucinogenics. So I'm like, maybe that's why I'm also not that scared, just because I genuinely, with all my heart and soul, believe that like this, what we see here, is not it.
100%.
Yeah.
Likewise, like I did acid once and like not again. That was
And we're not necessarily encouraging it, but
yeah, I think it opens your mind.
yeah.
And losing someone, especially your parent, opens your mind. It opened to all. The book was called Proof of Heaven. It just came to me, and that really shifted my perspective. And then, wait, what was the original question? Oh, why am I not scared of dying?
Yeah, why you're not scared of dying is also kind of to the general point of this, is like, what's actually helped you through the most? It seems like you creating your own version of what death means to you and believing in something bigger than yourself is what has really helped you cope.
True. Yeah. Okay. That's a really good question. What's helped me the most? I think in the beginning, it was a lot of isolation, a lot of walking, and a lot of reading. I read maybe 50 books. Like, I just totally became apathetic in my career in corporate America. I never felt aligned to it. And I think you had mentioned earlier, like, it would be nice not to want to help and just get to the bag. And I felt like I could get to the bag, but I didn't feel aligned with it for so long. Once I lost him, it was like I couldn't do some shit that wasn't making me happy anymore.
I was going to say, before you mentioned to me, your relationship with money changed when you lost your father.
Oh yeah, like remember when this happened 20 minutes ago? Like, yeah, when I was like, you're like, oh bro, like $10, like you should have parked here. I'm like, bro, it's $10. I could die.
I mean, facts though. Like, that's the thing. I think it does put things into your perspective when it's like, you realize what truly matters.
100%. The only thing of the most value is your health and your relationships with other people. Like, I remember yesterday, I'm not working right now. I'm in school, and I just like to make people smile. My friend had a surgery, and I was just like, I'm just going to send her like a DoorDash gift card. And I'm like, I'm not even working, but the energy of money is what the value behind it. Like, who fucking cares if you have a Gucci this, a Prada that? How about make a smile on someone's face? That to me is more valuable. I don't know. What's your take on, I hear your take on money.
On money? Like, my take on money is that it means a lot, but it also doesn't at the same time. It's kind of weird because when people say that's expensive, I'm like, okay, I'll just make more. And that mentality that money is always flowing through me, and as well as like, money makes you more of who you are, and I want to be fully abundant. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to be rich as fuck, and I have no fucking problem saying that, because I'm like, when I'm abundant, everybody around me is abundant. More life is given. I don't want it for the superficial reasons. I'm just always that person where I'm like, the second I let go of my attachment to it, kind of like anything in life, you let go of the attachment to it and you attract it, because you're not creating that resistance force there. That's why I'm like, I just have the utmost faith that I'll figure it out if I do need anything.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I'm not saying like this is a very hard topic to even speak on, because it's so hard when people don't have it, I feel like. And me finally having it, I made a lot of money in a very short period of time a few years ago. It's weird because the second I was willing to lose all my savings, which was not much as the time, is the second that influx came in. So that really flipped a switch in my brain, as well as like I had all this money now, and I'm like,
what's the point?
Yeah, not even what's the point, but I was like, I was buying all these expensive things and doing these nice stuff, and I'm like, it just puts things into perspective. I'm like, it's not everything, and I can create more of it whenever the fuck I want to. So it's different if you are actually struggling for a meal to have that mentality. I do get that, but that's just the second any time in my life when I decide to say fuck it, everything falls into place.
100%. I think it's really good that you mentioned that, because we're come from a privilege, like whatever it is, like we are privileged to even speak like this, because in school we work with people that truly are worried about their next meal.
Definitely.
So just want to acknowledge, like, that's not everyone's circumstance, but absolutely, like, tripping off the little things, like $10, that's headspace that I could use towards anything.
Other things, or also just like, it's a negative energy to it, and I'm like, anything that's negative energy, I'm not about it. I don't know, to me it's just like, for some reason, the most valuable things to me are the things that you really can't buy with money. It's like, there was a lyric I heard where it's like, you can keep your cash, like what I want you can't buy. And I'm like, you can't really buy that. Like, yeah, you can buy relationships, I guess, but that's not the type of relationship that I naturally attract. Like, I feel so fucking blessed to have so many great people around me, and I feel blessed to have money. I can't tell you how many vacations I've gone on where I'm like, I'm paying for the villa. Just buy your plane ticket and fucking come. Like, I don't care. I just want you there.
We love being your friend.
That's the
Hell
thing.
yeah.
I'm like, just come. Why not? But I don't know. It took me also like growing up in a neighborhood where a lot of people did idolize money and I saw they weren't happy. It also took me once again, like letting go of my attachment to it to come out on the other end. So that's it. But it seems like too, like you losing somebody really put things in perspective of what is important.
For sure. I mean, one thing about my dad is he was always tripping about money. Like,
both my parents do, to be honest with you. And I'm like, I get it, but I don't get it.
It's just the truth is, and I looked and I'm like, or he died when he was 73. I mean, sure, he was probably would be struggling if he lived till he was 100, but he left this earth with money in the bank. You spent the last 10 years of your life, oh, like that Trump this, Trump that, like, oh no, like the stocks this, like you're gone now. You could have painted, I mean, he wasn't a painter, he was a photographer and a guitarist. But he had actually lost his hearing when I was younger, which is part of like why it was messy. Because I don't know if you know, my brother is also a dwarf and like disabled.
No.
So that was a stress in the house.
Yeah.
That took a lot of resources and money, of course, when you're going through major surgeries. I think you went through like 10 growing up. Anyways, point is, my dad was tripping off money all the time. And then he dies, and the year I lost him was the year I made like the most money I ever had before in my career, and I was the most unhappy. And those two situations at once,
it puts things into perspective.
I was like, what's the point of life? And that's when I was like, I gotta do it. I always wanted to study clinical psychology.
And you're doing it.
And here I am, like, but I was scared because it's costly to go to grad school, choosing not to work. What's that going to look like? Look at me a year later, like I figured it out. Like it's the happiest I've ever been. I'm not worried about money the way I thought I would be, because it's like I'm working towards a vision, a goal. When you're in corporate America, I mean, I was told in my clinical interviews, don't bash on it, but that shit's so, it's just like,
I think everything has its place, and some people might fucking love it, but like I do think that we are also taught like that's just the easy way to make money and go into things, because there are a lot of times these big companies that can provide a lot of jobs. So that's why it seems like the easier thing to do. But to me, it's harder, because then you land up like not liking your life. And for those of you who do love statistics and proof, which I love statistics and proof because I used to be a skeptic. Now I'm like, I believe anything that I feel in my heart and my soul. But before, I'm like, show me the fucking proof. Is like, they've actually done studies that people make more money when they take bigger risk. So you keeping yourself in that little box thinking that like nothing's going to work out for you, it's like, you're actually not going to make as much money as you think, because it's the people who are the risk takers that are like, I'm going to find a way to figure it out, even if it's the traditional way, that actually make more in the long run anyways. They've done statistics on that. That's why men oftentimes get the higher paying jobs, because they'll apply for a job that they're not actually qualified for, but they have faith that they're going to figure it out.
Yeah, men with their fucking confidence.
Honestly, but like that's the thing. And I thought that's so cool, because I just love, people are like, what are the stats behind it? Google it. You'll find evidence to back it up.
No, 100%.
Yeah. We don't realize that the boxes that we keep ourselves in and the things that we're so attached to are actually preventing us from getting all the blessings and like leveling up in life.
Dude, yeah, the minute you let go, like, and you just trust in the universe, things do work out. I still struggle with that. I am not perfect.
Too.
Like
it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing process, to say the least.
Am I still anxious? Absolutely. But when my friend Annika, who's super inspiring to me, like she truly trusts the universe, and like things have just time after time just work out. And I look at her and the challenges she's gone through in the past 5 years, and I'm just like, she's out here winning. Like, trusting the universe is definitely super.
Yeah.
The universe is, I know you believe in the universe.
Oh, for sure. If anything too, I think hopefully when it does come to, and it helps, once again, I've never lost somebody, besides like my grandparents, I was like 4 or 5. I don't have any grandparents right now. But like whenever I do go through something rougher, it feels like a loss. I just remember everything is serving a purpose. And I just remember how grateful I was for those good times. And that's what keeps me moving forward. You know what I mean? I'm just like, it's all just flowing. It's all just going. What am I going to do? I can either go with the flow or I can swim upstream and be out of fucking breath and hate my life. Not doing that. I'd rather float with a cocktail in my hand. I'm chilling.
Girl, literally.
So I don't know. And honestly, it's funny I say floating on a raft in a cocktail because I don't drink that much, but you get the point, the vibe. So to kind of wrap up also, I just want to thank you for sharing this really intense experience and finding some light in it. And just, I feel like from hearing other people's experiences, it can make us all feel like we're not so alone on this journey. And like, you're clearly thriving right now, as we all have our ups and downs, but you look great. And when I talk to you, it seems like you're doing great. So there's a brighter light ahead. If you could give anybody going through a loss right now some advice, what would it be?
Give yourself time. Don't look at anyone else's experience and compare yourself to them. And know that it's not ever really going to leave you. And that's not the point. The point is being able to kind of move forward with it. But you can still have those sad moments. And that doesn't mean you're damaged. So, and you're not alone.
That's so beautiful. I love, my guests have been not surprising me, but like really making my heart sing lately with their final comments, to be honest with you.
Should I surprise myself? I was like, what was I going to say?
That was very heartfelt, actually. And that's something that I truly believe in. And I love how you're like, it's not about getting rid of it. It's about just like accepting it's a part of you. And I think that's the most beautiful thing. So thank you so much for that.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me today.
Of course. Yeah. It's been a pleasure. And thank you guys so much for listening. Until next time, I love you.
Bye. That was fun. All right, let's go into some